Good morning and welcome to another bicycle live stream. Namaste. It is Sunday the 24th of March at 7:19 a.m, 26 degrees, and I have ridden 29 kilometres, and it's very, very pleasant. I've ridden up to Broadbeach this morning, just reached the northernmost point and about to start heading back down again. So let's go under this bridge here, and this morning's topic relates to an event that I've referred to a few times in the last week or so, which of course, and thank you Chris for watching, and Nick, and who else have we got here, and Silky, thank you for watching. So this morning's event relates to this morning's live stream. Hang on a second. Morning. How are you? Right, so this morning's live stream relates to the awful event that occurred in New Zealand and one of the lessons that we can take from it. One of the very, very, very strong lessons, and this occurs not just in atrocious, awful events like what we witnessed there, but Kim, thank you for watching. Jessica, thank you for watching. Athena, thank you for watching. Anne, thank you for watching. One of the lessons that we can take there, which was something that was so... Good morning, Asha. Let me just turn the sound off so we don't get interrupted by it. Okay, let's try and start again. Let's focus. Okay, this morning's topic is the crucial necessity of forgiving others. And in brackets I put, no matter what we judge they've done. Maybe that should be what we've judged they've done. Now, I did a post about a week ago from one of the people involved whose wife was killed in the shooting in New Zealand. And this gentleman, a very wise gentleman, judging by what he said, he was, his wife was killed and he was in a wheelchair. He is in a wheelchair in any case. So for most of us to be in a situation like that where he's incapacitated himself, where his wife has been shot dead for unprovoked, where he has a daughter left behind, any of us in that situation would probably understandably be experiencing an incredible number of emotions and responses to that situation. And response is a very important thing to remember here. But we would expect to be in a state of disbelief, a state of incredible sadness, a state of anger. There'd be a lot of different emotional responses which would be considered common or normal. However, that may not mean that they are the best responses, but it's just part of the process of trying to understand and cope with a situation which is so beyond our understanding that we might have a lot of difficulty coping with it. So I posted about what this gentleman had said, and it was profoundly wise and carried an incredible depth of spiritual awareness in his statement. His statement was full of forgiveness for the shooter, for the perpetrator, for the person who shot dead his wife. Now just put yourself in that picture, that your partner, family member has been shot dead by someone. How would you feel about the person that's done it? Would you really honestly, could you forgive that person? Could you really honestly say, yep, I can forgive them? Because not many of us could. Most of us would judge that person and would not have the ability or the learning to be able to do it. But this gentleman said something incredibly profound. He said, I bear no grudges towards the shooter. He said, he's a brother of mine, but he is lost. I understand that he is lost. I understand that something must have happened to him for him to end up that way. But he also said something else profound. He said, if my wife were alive, she would forgive him too. which is just like, my God, the understanding. I mean, just reading it, I was just so deeply touched by what he said and the incredible lesson it carried. So I thought it's very important to look at why he did that and what we take from it and how it can help us in situations that are probably not as intense as that. So the crucial necessity for us to forgive others is based on two important points. The first point is comes from an energetic standing, the scientific understanding that we are energy particles, we vibrate at a certain rate. A lot of people who watch my live streams and follow my page may not be able to relate to the spiritual aspect of things, but they relate to scientific understanding. So this is for you guys. This is a scientific understanding, which actually is also the spiritual understanding, because the two are combined. That's what quantum physics is about. Anyway, we have a certain energy field that we are radiating. When we hold on to certain thought patterns about ourselves and others, this creates an energy of a certain vibration, which has an effect in the what it attracts and repels, I guess you could say. And this is very, very important to keep in mind when it comes to forgiveness, because forgiveness is not actually about the person you're forgiving. It's actually about the energy you're holding on that's ruining your own life. This is the important thing, and this is why forgiveness is a crucial necessity. So the first thing to understand is energetically, to hold on to an energy that is an anger energy towards someone or a judgmental energy towards someone creates for us an issue and an ongoing issue on many different levels. It does it emotionally, psychologically, it does it with a spiritual connection. So in many different areas it creates an issue that affects our health, and we are unable to be at peace. We are unable to be healthy on all levels because of this decision that we've made in our response to an event that's occurred in our life. Now remember, we made this decision in the way we responded. So the first part to understand is energy, holding on to and not releasing a certain sort of energy will have detrimental effects. The longer we hold on to it, the worse it becomes, until we end up with ulcers, cancers, many different health-related problems, because we're holding on to an energy that is actually killing us. So that's the first thing to understand with forgiveness, that it's very, very important to not be holding on to any negative energies that are destroying us. Second thing to understand is, what is forgiveness? What is the whole understanding or concept of forgiveness based around? It's based around judgment and a misunderstanding of the way things are happening in the world. So it's a very limited perspective. If somebody does something that we deem not good for us, so they're not doing it to us, but it's how we're responding to it. If somebody does something that we respond to with an understanding that it's not good for us, that means we have judged them. And in that judging, we then start to hold on to this energy that I'm talking about. This energy that attracts towards us more negativity for ourselves, that affects our health, and interestingly, or ironically, that energy that we hold on to, that we think will have some, people sort of, you might call it some sort of payback effect on the person. It's like, I'll get you, I'll make you pay. It doesn't. They don't feel that energy. You are the one holding on to the poison, and you're not throwing it at the person. You're, good morning, Sue. How are you? You're not throwing this poison at the person, you're actually hanging on to it, and it's actually detrimentally affecting your existence. So it really, when we analyse it, we understand how really, really unwise it is to be hanging on to an energy thinking that it's going to hurt the other person when in fact it hurts ourselves. When we start to look at it, we see it, but in the moment we don't. So why do we, it's the good question here, why do we do this? Why do we hold on to an energy that destroys us? Why is that our response to some events in our life that we feel shouldn't have happened to us? All of this stems from the false ego, which I've spoken about on previous live streams, and the false ego's need to always feel like it's number one, to always be in control or feel like it's in control, and it's ironic, fragile insecurity that it likes to think it's number one, but it can't handle the mildest of criticism. So it's really, it's so ironic that if it really was number one, if it really was as powerful as it thinks it was, then it would not have the insecurity that it has about the way other people are treating it. But the very fact that the false ego gets so insecure about the way that other people might be talking to it or about it is proof that it's not only not in control, but it's so far removed from being in control that it's just it's hilarious. You know, it's very funny to watch. So when we decide that we are not going to forgive someone, we set up a pattern. We make a decision in our mind. We mightn't say it in words, but we're basically, what we're doing is we're going, I judge this person, what they did to me was wrong, therefore I won't forgive them, therefore I'll hold on to an anger and energy towards them that will hurt them. But it doesn't work that way. It only hurts us. And the opposite of that is where somebody very wise understands the bigger picture. So what happened with this event in New Zealand, and Susie says it's hard to let go of feelings, good or bad. It's like forgiveness. Without giving it, we are the one in pain as we hold on to the wrong feelings. Exactly, Susie. It's easier to do it when we increase our awareness by tapping into the wisdom in our heart. It's easier to do it. And this gentleman, whose wife was shot dead, was able to do that. He was able to understand the crucial necessity to forgive others, because he could see that the person that was doing the shooting was obviously lost. How else do you describe his behaviour? You know, it's an extreme example of somebody that's incredibly lost. To hold on to an anger towards him only hurts us, and it doesn't do anything for him. So there's absolutely no point. It's actually a really stupid decision to do, but our false ego thinks, you know, there's some logic in it because that's the way the insecure false ego works. So that was the main point that I wanted to make. Oh, Matt's watching. Thanks, Matt, and Kathleen. That's excellent. There was something else, I think, in relation to that I also wanted to just touch upon. That the decision, I'll just go back to reiterating, the decision to forgive or not is entirely up to us. We have free will, but we pay the price for not forgiving. And by basically letting someone go, or releasing the anger that we have towards someone, we immediately free ourselves. So, and we have the power to do it. No one else is to blame. It's up to us. It's up to, yes, helps by focusing on the love within. It helps by understanding, yes, focusing on the love within, definitely, Kathleen, and understanding that people are lost. And the other point that I wanted to make was that we still have a moral responsibility in the way we treat others, but in other words, we should always act with compassion, but how we respond to the way others act around us is entirely up to us. It's always within our control, and we can choose to respond in a way of understanding or in a way of sort of very shallow sort of hatred, I guess. So that was the main points that I wanted to make this morning, that forgiveness releases us. It doesn't really make any difference to the other person because they're on their own path, feeling what they're feeling, doing what they're doing. But forgiveness releases us from the energy that destroys us in the beliefs that we hold towards others, believing that they should have treated us a certain way. And we only believe that because we hold a judgment towards them, and that judgment has an energetic responsibility that has an effect on us. So consider the next time you feel that somebody has wronged you, consider the power you have to reframe that and to look at, why the person acted the way they did. Maybe try and gain an insight into where they're coming from and feel an empathy and a compassion towards the person and understand that they're lost and that by judging them is not actually achieving anything. It's not helping you or them. But by understanding them and by maybe even being able to reach through to them and educating them, there is a possibility of growth and love that can come from that. So I hope that's helped you this morning. So thank you for watching another Bicycle live stream. Hope you have a great day. Remember to live vegan and save lives. And I look forward to speaking to you soon. Ahimsa.